I could have your attention, the time is 6:30, and I will call the Agenda Committee meeting to order. Is there anyone here who did not hear the emergency announcement before the public hearing? Bottom line is, if you hear a loud noise, don't use the elevator. Go down the steps. Okay? All right. First item on the agenda is public input on items on the agenda. Oh, okay. Go ahead and register your presence, please, and then we'll get to public input.
Okay, you have 16 present and 5 absent. You have a quorum.
Do have a quorum. Now, is there anyone who wishes to speak on any item on the agenda? Yes, come on up, please. Please give us your name and where you live, and let me get the mic on.
I'm Linda King, live in District 4. I'm with Citizens for Blount County's Future, and I represent the private sector. I'd like to speak on F7. I understand that the children's home has been deeded back to the county and that we're now considering giving it to the Drug Task Force. Now, what we saw in the past was the Drug Task Force was going to spend $300,000 on a piece of property which was way overpriced, and then they were going to build a building. Now we intend to give them a piece of property which we could sell and make money for the county. And I feel that they should at least reimburse us for what that property is worth. And we could, a novel idea, pay it toward our debt. I know they have a lot of money in their piggy bank because they were willing to spend a lot of money on property and build a new building. And while we're speaking of their buildings, we never even found out what they built. They bought the Dixon property out on Honeysuckle. What happened with that property? We don't even know. That was a lot of money spent from the Drug Task Force. So apparently there's a lot of money there. I think it would help if the county would sell that property or be reimbursed for the amount that it's worth, because the children's home is now ours. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no other hands, we'll move on. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from September 9th, 2014 meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion by Mr. Carver. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Caskey. Now, are there additions or changes to the minutes? The motion is to approve the minutes. If you're in favor of doing that, please vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
You have 14 yeses and 2 abstain.
Okay, that item is approved. Next item on the agenda is the setting of tonight's agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to set the agenda. A motion by Commissioner Farmer. Second, was that Commissioner Melton? Any discussion? The motion is to approve the agenda. If you're in favor, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
You have 15 yeses and 1 abstain.
And the agenda is set. The next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. There are 4 items on the consent calendar, and the chair will entertain a motion for.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I move that we move all items D1 through 4 to the full commission, and adding 4A the name of Representative Art Swan.
Okay, you heard the motion. I'm sorry I didn't get your mic on there.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I was looking at your name and should have been looking at my name.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we move items D1 through D4 onto the full commission, and on item 4A that we enter the name of Representative Art Swan.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Carver. Now, is there discussion? Let's see, Commissioner Monroe, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we obligated to nominate a state rep or a state legislator? Let me rephrase that.
I don't know the answer to that. Does anyone know? Commissioner Moon, let me get the mic on here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the past, Bob Ramsey's filled this spot, and it's advantageous to the agency to have a member of the General Assembly. That way they have a flow of information of what's available at the state level. It helps Blount County to have a General Assembly member serve.
But we're not obligated? Is that just this body's discretion? Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Board is clear. If you're in favor of the motion to move items 1 through 4, and item 4A, we enter the name of the nominee as Art Swan, Representative Art Swan. If you're in favor, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
You have 16 yeses and 5 absent.
That item is approved. Under unfinished business, item 1A, the Public Records Commission, Ron French as a reappointment, Judge William R. Brewer as a reappointment, and Betty Boone Best as the genealogist is a reappointment. Chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Let me get your mic on. If I can find it. There we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we send items E1A and E1B to the full commission under items D, appointments, elections, and confirmations.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Farmer. Now, is there discussion? The board is clear. If you're in favor of this item, to move items E1A, the Public Records Commission, and E1B, the Purchasing Commission, as listed on the agenda, vote yes. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and get Commissioner Monroe. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I looked online. Does anyone recall the last time that a woman was appointed to serve on either the Budget Committee or the Purchasing Commission? I looked through the records and I could only find one woman, and that was when we had a female mayor. I just hope that this body would consider some women to serve on those important committees in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the board is clear. If you're in favor of the motion as stated, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
You have 14 yeses and 2 noes.
That item is approved. Next item on the agenda is budget transfers, and I do not believe we have any, do we, Mr. Vineyard? I don't show any. I don't remember any from yesterday. Under budget increases, the first item is a budget increase of $30,500 in data processing for replacement of monitors. Chair will entertain a motion on Resolution 14-10-007. Motion by Commissioner Carver. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Melton. Now, is there discussion? Seeing no items on the board, no lights on the board, if you're in favor of Resolution 14-10-007, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
You have 15 yeses and 1 no.
That item is moved to the full agenda of the commission. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 14-10-006, a resolution authorizing Trinity Benefit Advisors to provide an online benefit open enrollment administration system for the 2015 plan year. Chair will entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Farmer. Is there a second? Where was that? Commissioner Stinnett, second. Now, is there discussion? Commissioner Monroe, let me get the mic on here. Commissioner Monroe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Was there any kind of bid process or competition for this?
We'll have to ask, well, our chairman of that committee is Mike Lewis, and he's out tonight. Is there someone that can report on that? Commissioner Kaler?
Not prepared to answer that, no, sir.
Okay. Mr. Vineyard, do you want to speak to that? Oh, okay. Go. Yeah, come on over.
To answer your question, no, there was not a bid process. We are going through our broker, Trinity Benefit Advisors, in order to use this system. So they are handling the contract negotiations or whatever you want to call them with the vendor. We are going through Trinity as our broker to use the tool.
So we have no idea whether or not this is the best that the county could get financially.
It is, because based on the conversations that I have had with the broker, and we discussed it at the benefits committee meeting previous in September, other tools could have cost $120,000 or more for what we need. So they got this for us for $60,000, which was a good deal.
Did you see that in writing?
Yeah, you should have the letter in your packet from Trinity stating that the cost is $60,000.
Right, but I'm talking about the other options that are available.
I have what Trinity has given me, so I was not here when they began the process to negotiate this, so for any history, I don't have that. What I have is what I'm dealing with now, so we have the $60,000 from Trinity.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, in the July agenda packet, part of the sales pitch about Courthouse was that it was estimated that our cost would be $117,600 to outsource this. So if we could get it done for $60,000, where did this $117,600 annual savings come from?
Do you want to respond to that?
I don't think I can. I'll have
Mr.
to pass
Vineyard?
that off to somebody else.
Mr. Vineyard, do you? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Stallions. Come on up.
The $60,000, what we're doing this year is a stopgap measure. Trinity Benefits went out because Courthouse was not ready. So Trinity Benefits went out. They're also investing some money themselves into this project. This isn't a fee that we could get every year. I had the same question when we started coming back with with what it was going to be at 60. When we went out last year, was the first year that we didn't have a company paying for open enrollers, and we did a very manual process, very labor intensive. We're informed that we couldn't do that again this year just because of everything that was involved. So when we had to do the most cost-effective thing we had, so it's a one-year deal. We're getting a heck of a bargain. Trinity's kicking in some money because of the cost that it costs them to do the manual investment as well. This isn't something we could, if we went to sign up with one of these companies year in to do every year, it would be about $117,000.
Okay, so we don't have anything in writing showing us that. That was just another one of those Courthouse sales pitch numbers. We've never been given anything in writing, and this has not been put out to bid.
Is that a question?
No, that's a statement.
Okay.
I have a further question for the finance director, if that's okay.
Go ahead and state your question.
Okay. Do you have the implementation schedule for Courthouse, since Courthouse is supposed to take care of this? Because when we met, you told me that would be in the October budget packet, and I looked and I didn't see it. Did I miss it? Because I didn't find it.
Well, I'm not the procedural expert, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yes, I understand, but that we are paying for this, and if we are implementing Courthouse, that was one of the reasons to rush it through, was we could save some money. And if
let-
we don't
let
have
me-
any kind of implementation schedule, then we don't know where we're at.
Kronos contract is not before this body at this time.
Okay, so it was not in, I was promised that that would be in the packet, in the packet, the budget packet yesterday. It was not. We don't have a bid process, and we have nothing in writing to know whether or not this is, we have no schedule plan.
Right now,
and we
we're
have no idea.
talking, right now, we're talking about a different subject. So if you want to talk about that in items not on the agenda, I'll allow you to do that.
Well, we don't have any way of knowing whether or not the implementation schedule happened, whether or not we should be doing this, because we were told that this needed to be rushed through so we could have this for open enrollment. So I just want to leave that with the commission. I
All
can't
right.
support this. Thank you.
Commissioner. Next person up is Commissioner Moon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To clear the record, Trinity is bid out, and part of the scope of work with Trinity is the enrollment process. And I believe they put this body on notice at least 2 years ago when we went to manual that there were going to be significant cost in the future, but that's part of the bid specs going out to select our manager, which they were successful bidder. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Daly.
When I was looking back on the budgets, I didn't see that $60,000 last year or the year before for enrollment. Did we do it in-house?
Yes, it was done in-house last year, wasn't it? We'll let Mr. Stayens, our risk manager, respond.
Last year was a combination of in-house and Trinity benefits. We did it in-house, but then also our consultant Trinity did it, and we did it in conjunction with Trinity. So it was kind of a hybrid model.
But we didn't pay them anything?
No. I raised a fuss going into it to try to get something done because coming out, Humana did not have enrollers, and I thought that they should provide some, and Humana agreed. So it was sort of a collaborative effort on Humana, Trinity, and ourselves. Very manual process, though.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The board is clear. If you're in favor, I'm sorry. Did you press your, or do you wish to speak again? I do that up here. I turn it off up here. Okay. If you're in favor of Resolution 14-10-006, please vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no. And this is to send the item to the full agenda.
You have 10 yeses, 5 noes, 1 abstain, 5 absent.
Item fails to go to the full agenda. Next item on the agenda, let me catch up here, is the letter from the comptroller, and this is for information only, correct? Or do you? Pardon me? You only got 10 votes.
You better ask one to abstain if he chooses to vote.
Who abstained on that? Mr. Caskey? Pardon me? Oh, it was? Okay, we're going to vote again on that. Is that permissible? You, Mr. Clerk, you need to set it up. Or can you just change his vote to a yes? You can't? Okay. Yes, all right, we're going to, since Mr. Caskey meant to do a different vote, we're going to vote again on item 14-10-006. Now, if you are in favor, vote yes. That's sending it to the agenda. If you are opposed to send it to the agenda, vote no. Point of order. Hang on just a minute. Go ahead.
Wouldn't the body have to move for another vote? There was no movement by this body for another vote.
All right, we'll take a vote on, if you support the chairman.
I'm not challenging the rule of the chair. I'm seeking a point of order. Wouldn't this body have to move to vote? The chairman can't take it upon his own authority to move the body.
Mr. Chairman,
Hang on, go ahead.
there were 10 votes affirmative,
Right.
correct? I move reconsideration.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, he has not been recognized.
I just did recognize him,
We were discussing, you and I, you were,
and I recognize Commissioner Moon.
okay.
Commissioner Moon voted in the affirmative. He can move to reconsider. Is there a second to reconsider? Second by Commissioner Carver. Now we will vote to reconsider. If you're in favor of that item moving to the agenda, vote yes. If you are opposed, vote no. That item moves to the agenda. Now, the next item on the agenda, on tonight's agenda, is item 3B, which is the comptroller letter. Did you want to speak to that, Randy? Let me have, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I had it on there. Go ahead.
Vote we just took was on reconsideration, and it was voted 11 votes to reconsider.
Okay.
Now we should vote again on the motion.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hold
Mr.
on.
Chairman.
Thank you. You're right. I got confused there. Now, let's see. Commissioner Stennett, did you wish to speak?
Yeah, I was going to just say that the committee, Human Resource, we had a lengthy meeting on this, and doing this in-house is not a very effective way. And the committee it's a 100% to send this to us, to put it on the agenda for the commission to look into. But guys, this if we don't at least send it to the commission, we're going to spend a lot of time, man hours, trying to get our benefit package in line. And this, you know, our committees are here for a reason, and at least we should be able to move this and get it on the commission to allow the full commission to look into this.
Okay, we're on the motion now because of the reconsideration vote. Commissioner Monroe.
Is a motion to reconsider a simple majority or a 2/3?
I believe it's a simple majority.
It's just a simple, okay.
Majority. All right, now, we're going to vote to send this to the agenda or not, and that is the reconsideration of the motion 1410-006. Now, if you are in favor of sending it to the agenda, vote yes. If you are opposed, vote no. I'll slow this thing down here and let me catch up to where we're at.
11 yeses and 5 noes.
Now, that vote sends it to the agenda. The next item now is item 3B. The chair will entertain a motion to bring the comptroller letter. This has to be recognized by the full commission, does it not? So we do need a motion. Is there a motion? Commissioner Carver, is there a second? Second, Commissioner Melton. Now, Mr. Vineyard, do you wish to speak to this? Explain it.
This is a letter that the Office of State and Local Finance, which is a division of the State Comptroller's Office, it's an opinion letter that they provide local governments on their budgets. And in this case, this is a letter we received regarding the school system, and it applies to the 2015 budget. My preference would have been to have brought this to you with the recommendation that is required by the school system to respond to this letter, but the timing is not such that I can do that. So the letter is available to you now, and we will provide you with the school system's response once that is completed. They have 30 days to respond, but that would put us past your next commission date. So I don't know what the pleasure of this body is as far as the first sentence, which is read this into the commission. I don't know if that means at an agenda committee or at a full commission meeting. That's up to you all. Tell me what you want me to do.
The only thing this body can do is send it to the full commission.
Okay. Then it'll be read at the next meeting, I guess.
Okay. Let's see. Commissioner Moon, Chairman Moon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to ask the motion maker, I'd like to make a motion to amend that we place this on the consent calendar as a full commission meeting. It's a request by the comptroller, correct? Yes. That we spread this letter upon the minutes of the meeting. So I make a motion to amend that we put it on a consent calendar.
If the motion maker will accept it, are you okay with that? Mr. Carver, you accept that? I do accept that. Commissioner Melton? Okay, so the motion is to place this on the consent calendar. Any other discussion? Vote yes to send this to the consent calendar. This is the comptroller letter. Vote no if you're opposed.
You have 15 yeses and 1 no.
This item moves to the consent calendar. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to amend the zoning resolution of Blount County, Tennessee, Section 74-D-7A, tower separation requirements. Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion for the full commission, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Farmer, is there a second? Second, Commissioner Melton. Now, is there discussion? The board is clear. If you're in favor of item 1410-003 moving to the full agenda, vote yes. If you are opposed, vote no.
You have 13 yeses, 2 noes, 1 abstaining, 5 absent.
That item moves to the full agenda. The next item is a resolution amending the rules regarding procedures of the Blount County Board of Commissioners. That is our resolution 1410-004. Chair will entertain a motion to bring it on the floor. Commissioner Kaler, is there a second? Second. Second, Commissioner Carver. Now, is there discussion? Board is clear. If you are in favor of sending item 1410-004 to the full agenda, vote yes. And if you're opposed, vote no.
You have 11 yeses, 5 noes, 5 absent.
That item moves to the full agenda. Next item is resolution naming the bridge at Old Wallen Highway in Walland for Gordon Edward Wright Sr., or the Gordon Edward Wright Sr. Memorial Bridge, resolution 14-10-002. If you're motion by Chairman Moon, second by Commissioner Kaler. Is there discussion? Board is clear. If you're in favor of 14-10-002, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no. Moving it to the agenda.
You have 16 yeses.
That item is approved. Next item is a resolution to approve the memorandum of understanding between Blount County and the Blount County Sheriff's Office and the 5th Judicial Drug Task Force for the allocation and use of county property. That's resolution 14-10-005. Is there a motion? Commissioner Kaler, is there a second? Where was that? Commissioner Hedrick. Now discussion. Commissioner Kaler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Several months ago, and I can't give you the exact date, we could ask Ms. Pitts to check that for us, but we did have a presentation, if you will, from the 5th Judicial about the purchase of a piece of property on Mustang Drive in the Blount County Industrial Park for the price of $300,000 and some change. I'm not exactly sure what the exact figure was. To my recollection, it was determined that there was a discrepancy in the cost of that property and the appraised value of that property, and therefore that was voted down. Now we have another proposal from the 5th Judicial that I personally think is a win-win situation for the county. We have a piece of property that the county already owns that has been condemned by the city of Maryville, I think on 19 points. I have visited the property. I'm familiar with the property by virtue of my job with the city. I'm familiar with the condition of the property. I think that it is a wise move for us to allow an agency already within our government to utilize that building to rehabilitate it and to further maintain it. It's my understanding that is their intent to both rehabilitate and continue maintenance so that we have a piece of property that, yes, the county does own, that is not sitting in disrepair, that is being utilized for a good purpose and being, as I said several times, being maintained. I anticipated that there would be some questions, so I asked Captain Talbot, who is the captain over the 5th Judicial Task Force, to be present tonight if there were any questions. Rather than me sit up here and try and explain my concept of this proposal, I think it would be better heard if we allowed Captain Talbot to address some more of the specifics. So I would ask, Mr. Chairman, if you allow Captain Talbot to have the floor, please.
Come on up.
Thank you, Commissioner Kaler. Just to echo what you've already alluded to, the task force is in a position, has been for some time now, to expand operations or expand the facility in which we are operating out of. And we need to expand for a number of different reasons. We need more workspace. We need more storage space. It's just the area that we're in, the office complex that we operate out of now, it's not able to be, we're not able to expand where we're at. There's not room to build. There's not room to add on or anything of that nature. As Commissioner Kaler stated already, a few months ago we came before the commission and had a plan to purchase some property, and there was some question about the price of the property, and let me speak just a minute on that, and without taking up a lot of your time. The funds that were going to be used to purchase the property were funds from the drug fund, so it wasn't going to be coming out of the county's overall budget, the rainy day budget, or anything like that. It was going to be coming out of our fund. And so therefore, basically, the county was going to be gaining an asset at the cost of the drug task force. And since we were tasked with going back and finding another solution, this is what we came up with. And I think you've already heard one person speak tonight that the county has an asset. And the county does have an asset, and it's been sitting there, as Commissioner Kaler alluded to, for some time, and it's been going downhill, and it's has numerous code violations. And simply all we're asking to do is to improve the county's asset, but give us the ability to do that by letting us have control of the property to put funds into it. So basically, we just want to improve what the county already has.
So, let's see, Chairman Moon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to make clear, the county is not deeding this property to the 5th Judicial Drug Task Force, is it, Mr. Chairman? That's my question.
It's just an agreement, right, Mayor?
So
To use the building.
property is not being deeded. It maintains it's still on the asset rolls of Blount County.
Mr. Mayor, do you wish to speak to it, Mayor?
This property is not being deeded to the drug task force. And if you'll read the memorandum of understanding, at any point when the county decides that this property is more valuable to be sold, then we can actually take this property back and sell the property.
Thank you. Commissioner Monroe, did you have?
I do. Let's see, it's page 73. Let me find it's the therefore in the memorandum of understanding, E, the last part of that, and in determining said value to be reimbursed, any depreciation of said improvements shall be considered. Who is being reimbursed for depreciation in said improvements?
Who wishes to answer that?
I can answer
Captain?
that. The monies that are being utilized to improve the property are coming out of the drug fund, and those monies can't be, our entity cannot own property. Therefore, that is why the county is going to continue to own the property. We're just going to improve it. And we are allowed to do that with monies from the drug fund. But if the county ever chooses to sell the property and take it back from the sheriff's office, just as the mayor simply stated, then they do have the right to do that. However, those monies that were taken out of the drug fund and put into it have to be given back and put back into the drug fund. In other words, we can't utilize forfeited funds from drug cases to improve county properties so that the county can sell them and deem a profit and transfer the funds from the drug fund to the general fund.
Did you just say that the Drug Task Force can't own property?
That is correct.
Then how in the world were we buying that property before? Was that in the county's name or the Drug Task Force name?
It was going to be in the county's name. That's why when I originally spoke, I was saying that the task force was going to utilize the drug funds to purchase an asset that the county would actually own.
You said that you can't do improvements. Can you show that in writing? Is that federal law or where is that coming from?
I said that I can't do improvements?
You can't do improvements and then the county go out and sell it.
No, we can do improvements.
Yeah, but
and then the county can go out and sell it. However, if they choose to do so, the monies they get from the sale will have to go back into the drug fund. The monies will have to be replaced.
Have to, or just this agreement says to, by law or by memorandum of understanding?
By law, the monies will have to be placed back into the drug fund.
Okay, can we be provided next week with that federal law that says that?
Sure. I'll make sure it's included in your packet.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Board is clear. Commissioner Caskey.
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is we would only have to reimburse for the cost of the improvements, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The board is clear. Commissioner Hedrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to say this is a great idea to do. I can tell you firsthand, these people do a wonderful job, and to charge them 1 penny would be a great disservice. Yes, and we do have an asset. It's the Drug Task Force. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. The board
Thank
is
you,
clear.
Commissioner
Are
Hedrick.
you ready to vote? If you're in favor of the agreement, and I missed the number here somewhere. What's the number on that? Okay. If you're in favor of this motion to move this to the agenda, the agreement between the county and the 5th Judicial Drug Task Force, and you're in favor of moving it to the full agenda, vote yes. Okay. It's dash 14-00 1410-005. Vote yes if you're in favor, and vote no if you're not in favor.
You have 13 yeses, 3 noes, and 5 absent.
This item moves to the full agenda. Next item on the agenda are announcements and statements. I do not have any other than there is a special call meeting of the commission on October the 14th at 5:30 p.m. in this room to consider and act on the E3B debt that we had the presentation on earlier tonight. Are there any other announcements, Commissioner? Oh, okay. Seeing no other announcements, items not on the agenda. Yes, what was it? Well, your light went out. I thought you decided not to. Go ahead.
No. Yesterday in the budget packet on page 36, there was listed disposed of by the Highway Department one Scooby-Doo mystery machine van. Could anyone tell me what that is and why in the world we had a Scooby-Doo mystery machine van for 18 years?
You would probably be best to call Mr. Dunlap about that, unless Mr. Hedrick, do you want to respond? I mean Hatcher, I'm sorry. Mr. Hatcher, do you want to respond to that?
It was sold on Gov Deals.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know why that terminology was in there. It was a van that had a bucket boom on it. I have no idea why that particular terminology is in the agenda, but it was just an old van with a boom on it that we used to change traffic lights and trim trees.
Thank you, Mr. Hatcher.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Okay. Is this an announcement? That's what we're at, is that announcements? Oh, go ahead.
Could the finance director please provide to this body a statement of implementation for the Courthouse system in our agenda packet next month, please? It's a simple request.
Okay.
I would appreciate it. It would be helpful for this body. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, items not on the agenda. Come forward, please. And I'll get to Mr. Akard.
Chairman, I'm Jim Hinkle, District 10. Just a reminder, this Saturday, October the 11th, the Louisville 5th Annual Oktoberfest will be held, and we will be having a kids fishing tournament, rain, shine, sleet, or snow. I just wanted to extend another invitation for you people to come down. I want to thank the 20 commissioners who committed donations to this great cause, I think, for buying rods and reels, free lunches, and gift bags and so forth for the kids. And if you come down, make sure you stop by and say hello. I'll be running around like a chicken with my head cut off with those kids. But if you want to brighten up the weekend, just be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on items not on the agenda? If not, I will close that. Oh, I didn't. Go ahead, Ron. Is there objection for Commissioner Lewis's name being added to the bridge sponsorship? Seeing no hands, no lights. Commissioner Akard, did you wish the floor?
Not on that issue. My light's been on for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
I failed to speak up when we were dealing with item E1B, the Purchasing Commission, and I wanted to make a statement. I believe that the spirit of the law is that those two bodies, the Purchasing Committee and the Budget Commission, the Purchasing Commission and the Budget Committee be separate entities. And I did not vote against the mayor's recommendation, but I believe we should be encouraged for that to be 4 different people, rather than it being the exact same body 2 times with a different name attached. The spirit of the rule, we've got a whole board of folks here that we could name 4 different parties from, and I believe that we should strongly consider another appointment recommendation for that body.
Mr. Aker, those are nominees of the mayor. The board is clear. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Farmer, second by somebody. Meeting is adjourned.